The album cover. In modern music streaming times, it has been reduced to the size of a thumbnail and is generally ignored by the music streaming masses. But there was a time when album art meant something. It was an artistic advertisement of the artist's vision, of what could lie inside the record musically. Sometimes, as we will see in this video, the album art can be oftentimes reduced to either laziness or just sheer stupidity. So take a look with me as I examine some album art that just really bugs me for some reason, whether it's just lazy, stupid, or all of the above. This is Dancing with Ghosts. When Lady Gaga's album Born This Way came out, I was walking with a friend in a Walmart when she pointed to the album and she said, "I want that for Christmas." As soon as I looked at the album and saw how stupid it looked, I immediately ended the friendship and never talked to her again. What the hell is this? This is such a cringy-ass album cover. And I'm not just saying that because that's a popular internet word nowadays. This is really, genuinely awful. Born This Way came out on the heels of the uber-successful The Fame Monster album, and Lady Gaga at that time wielded all the power in pop music. This happens sometimes when artists get really successful really quickly. They feel invincible and they feel as though their artistic acumen cannot be questioned by the dirty, unwashed masses. But it was us who had the last laugh because Lady Gaga will have to live with this choice that she made for the rest of her life. Interesting side note, later versions of this album saw her change the cover from her as a fucking motorcycle to her as a less cringy, up-close shot of her face. As another hilarious side note, when this album was coming out, fans took to the internet and made some pretty funny versions of this album, you know, their own way, which I thought was pretty good. Damn. Damn is right. Like, goddamn, what were you thinking? That's the name of the album, of course, but I would have called the album What the Fuck. Look at that lazy-ass, like, Microsoft Courier font with the picture. It looks like the B-roll of... He went and did some photo shoot and they had, like, a really good picture, and he's like, nah, that's too good. Let's use this much shittier picture where I'm just, like, looking menacingly down the middle distance. I don't care if the whole, like, DIY approach is popular now with rap album covers. This just looks like crap with anybody with an objective set of eyeballs in their head. The sad thing is this is not a bad album. Much like Lady Gaga, Kendrick Lamar came off the highly successful To Pimp a Butterfly album and then released this one. So again, artistic acumen coming into play here. He probably thought, yeah, fuck it. I just want people to focus on the music. But damn, that's a really bad album cover. Very lazy. First off, when you talk about a band like Limp Bizkit, you have to really get into the mindset of a pissed-off 15-year-old with a stepfather who has an alcohol problem. Once you can do that, then you think a title like Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water is fucking hilarious! The album cover of this album always bothered me, even back when I was a Limp Bizkit fan. I just thought it looked really bad, like some Parappa the Rapper vibes, some PS1 pre-rendered flat kind of 2D image going on with these like weird looking aliens and these hot dogs and holding up a starfish. Yeah, we get it. It's a sexual reference to sodomy. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. It's hilarious. At first I thought this was some like computer rendered graphic, but apparently Limp Bizkit's guitar player Wes Borland like actually drew this or rendered it or did something. So I mean that gives it a little bit more cool points, and it would have been better as just a standalone piece, but to make that your album cover, it's just very stupid. I always hated that album cover. What is up with these rappers and these minimalist fucking album covers? They must have just figured out that the mainstream really doesn't give a crap about what the album artwork looks like, and JayZ's just like, I'm not gonna hire a graphic designer for this. I'm gonna choose some font that looks like it was on Microsoft Word, throw a puke peach color for the background, and boom, I am done. I remember the ad campaign for this album before it came out, and he like slapped this hideous puke flesh colored album cover all over New York and the taxis and buses and walls. I guess in his mind he thought he was some kind of modern day Andy Warhol or something, but it's just lazy, dude. I don't care how you want to artistically justify, oh, you don't understand, man, it's got a deeper meaning. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's lazy. It's fucking lazy. Speaking of laziness in hip-hop, let's talk about some laziness in pop rock. Weezer with their color-themed albums. It's a super tired idea, and I wish they would stop. Like, people are gonna think that just because the album is named after a color, it's gonna be just as good as the Blue album. It's usually not. It's brand association. It's a marketing gimmick, and they think that if they name an album the Black Album, the White Album, the Teal Album, the Turquoise Album, people are going to go, oh, well, the Blue Album was really good, so maybe this album will be really good. And now that I think about it, their non-color themed album art is really shitty too, so this is awkward. Pen and pixel album covers. Now, what is that, you might ask? Well, if you were into the hippin' and the hoppin' and you went to album stores back in the late 90s, you know exactly what pen and pixel album covers looked like. Pen and Pixel was a Houston-based graphic design company that, for a while, was the in-house album art design company for No Limit and Cash Money Records. That's why all their album covers pretty much look the same. And by the same, I mean they are laughably corny. You would look at these albums and think to yourself, there's no way that this is a legitimate album that was ever sold in stores, but oh, they were. And some of the most hottest rap acts at the time had album covers designed by this company. Fuck, even Lil Wayne had an album designed by this company when he was like 16 years old. The criteria for a pen and pixel album goes as follows. First, bling. Second, hot bitches. Third, fire. Fourth, did I say bling? And fifth, terrible Photoshop. These guys are doing like the opposite of what Kendrick Lamar and JayZ are doing. They tried way too hard and put way too much effort into trying to make these albums look off the chain, yo. But instead they just aged like a fine piece of cheese, and now internet nobodies like myself are talking about them more than 20 years later. So anyway, that is my selection of album covers, album art that just annoyed me or I didn't like or I thought was stupid. What are some album art covers, album cover art, that you thought was lazy and or stupid? Let me know in the comments section below. Also remember to leave your hateful, argumentative, and or homophobic comments there as well. Although I didn't get that many last video, probably because it didn't do as well. Also remember to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. And until next time, have a good rest of your night.